Hey, how you doing, everyone? It's Imran, Web Squadron. Um, Luckily, the tech and everything's working okay. I didn't have as much of a problem as what I had yesterday, where things were just not connecting. Today's going to be a bit of a varied day, to be honest. I recorded some videos this morning. I'm now working on a few little bits here and there. I want to try and get the videos edited and uploaded and all of that because after I pick Raheem up from school later today, I'm gonna have to go to my dad's house because it's my nephew's birthday, and he is going to be 13 years old. Have I got that right? Yes, he's 13 years old now today. Hey, friendly girl. So, just celebrate his birthday. Um, I'm one of those people though where I'm like, right, if I'm going somewhere at a certain time, what do I need to do before? I'm like, hey, WP Arabic, how you doing? I'm pretty sure you can tell I'm not the sort of person that goes out and about anymore, really. And I always have so many things on, and I've been closing off a few possible agreements with some people where I may record some videos for them. By the way, I keep reaching back because I've got a hot water bottle here, and I've just heated it up again, and it's pretty burning hot. Um, so I've got some agreements with some companies that I said I might support them with some videos, but I just have to now start planning out because I got a couple of projects coming on as well. One that might start next week, but I need to finalize the start date. Hey Stacey, hey B Informatica, hey Paul Burgess as well. How are you all doing? How has your week been? And a question I asked some of you yesterday was, are any of you going out to buy a specific Black Friday deal? Is there anything you're burning to go and get? I've said no, but tomorrow could change everything. So tomorrow I've got to take my car in because for the last 2 years I've had a recall on my car, and I've put it off for 2 years because I just can't be asked to take it in. It's to do with the exhaust. I've never noticed a problem, but it's a safety recall that all BMWs have to go through. So I've got to take my car in tomorrow. They'll do whatever they got to do for free. But the garage is basically like a 10-minute walk away from a big shopping area, right? Like humongous, with loads of really, really big and good shops. So I've got a feeling that because I won't have my car for about 6 to 7 hours, I'm going to be killing 6 to 7 hours just shops and stuff and sitting in the eating bit. And I might try and do a bit of work on my phone. Obviously, I'm not going to take my laptop because obviously, Wi-Fi and all that, and I don't trust public Wi-Fi a lot these sometimes, but I'll just use my phone, which is still public Wi-Fi, but it's easier to connect onto, right? So I've got a bad feeling that tomorrow I'm going to end up splashing the cash. I hope not. I need to be very careful. I don't go, oh yeah, I'll buy that and buy that. I've got to be careful. Hey, Dave. Hey, John Sinidis. How you doing? Friendly Girl says, still nothing but a new snow shovel. Is that because where you live it snows quite regularly, or is it just because you need a new snow shovel? Interesting. I think of everything anyone's ever said, that's quite an interesting one. TJ Sayers, Gravity Forms, and Termageddon. Don't worry about the spelling, my friend. Termageddon is really, really damn good, right? Especially if you sign up, you get 2 free licenses, one for you and maybe one for someone else. That's really, really good, right? 2 free licenses. You don't pay a penny. But then you can get 15 licenses for the price of 3. Now, the cost of 3 licenses is about $336, I think. Yeah, 336 because there are 112 each. That's still quite a bit of money. But if you know your clients are definitely going to get it, right? They would obviously pay you and it pays for all the other licenses, and then you can dish them out to other clients. Obviously, they have to pay for it. Don't ever give anything away for free. Hey, Michael D. Hey, Video Boy. Friendly Girl says there's lots of snow predicted, and you live in the Black Forest. Okay, past years weren't so bad, but this year might be a lot. Good call, friendly girl, from what you've said there. John says, did you check out the Elementor widget manager yet? Yes, I have. I have checked it out and I have not seen any effect or impact on page speed. So, well, let me clarify. If you do not load a widget onto your page, it doesn't impact on your page speed performance. Okay, Elementor has a lot of bloat in the back, we know that. But if you do not add the call to action widget to your page, it won't show within your page DOM rendering, okay? Because you're not using it. The element manager allows you to just stop showing it. So what's the benefit of it? Well, if you know maybe you are gonna you don't want to see, I don't know, let me explain it. Maybe you have no intention of using the call to action widget or the image box widget or the accordion. You can just untick them. So it means that when you are looking at your widgets, when you are building, or if you're working as part of a team or designers, you're only working with the widgets that you want to work with, kind of thing, in a way. But yeah, John, I mean, what I would say though is that if you don't, if you don't drag the widget onto the page, it wouldn't affect your page speed performance anyway, per se. So, Elementor does hit your page speed by about 20 odd %. But as I've shown in many, page speed performance videos, you can get back to 100% with plugins and a bit of code snippets. Yeah, the thing is, though, yeah, now, interesting. So Dave's kind of further clarified that. I have not had any delay. I don't experience any delays or issues with the backend loading. There is bloat. We can't get away from that. But I've not had any issues with that. And I've also not had any issues with, like, I mean, hold on, wait. Third-party widgets. Third-party. I mean, I've not checked against third-party widgets. I've only checked against the elemental widgets, but I haven't checked against any of the third-party, mainly because it's a bit subjective. I've just got to quickly check. I've just got a comment come in on Facebook, and I've just got to double-check if anyone is... No, I don't need to worry about that. Michael, yeah, do you know what, Michael? I honestly can't be bothered. I really can't be bothered with, like, VPN and then blah, 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 blah. And then in a way, if I've got my laptop and then I end up buying stuff, I'm just adding more weight to my back and my bag and my hands. So I might leave I will definitely leave the laptop at home. And what I'll do is every now and again, I'll just find somewhere to sit and I will just check emails and whatnot, answer stuff on my phone. Video Boy, what soda stream do you use? I use Pepsi Max, but today I've just gone and got the actual official bottle for Pepsi Max, just because I dropped my son off when I went to a shop. And while I was there, I was like, oh, why not? It's cold. The fridge is cold. The Pepsi Max in the fridge will be super cold. And I got that. Sometimes it's quite nice to have some full-blown aspartame in your system, kind of thing. I hope you're enjoying the code snippet videos that we've been putting out. I think there's another one for next week or another two. Just recorded a video for Maxime from element.how where he's got, like, basically if you have a tab or an accordion and you share a button, the link to the button, and you can share it in an email or put the button on your page. When you click the button, it goes to a specific page and it goes to a specific tab. So if you've got a tab or an accordion with, say, 5 tabs, and you want the button to go to tab 4, it literally goes to tab 4. So when you land there, it's already open on tab 4, which I think is really, really useful because you could have a page explaining stuff, but there's so much content, you don't want the page to become super, super long. So you could have, like, headers or a title editor, whatever. When you click it, it then goes to a tab to give you further details, images, contact form, product, even. So there's loads of opportunities there. John Cyanides, by the way, friendly girl, don't worry about saying thanks. I'll tell you what, I have a wish list of stuff I still want to record. So I have over here a list, and I'll tell you how many I've got left on here, because I've obviously done some more. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 more videos I want to do. The slight problem I have is every day or every night I go, oh, what about this? Oh, what about that? Oh, we've just invented a new code snippet. Elementor have just gone and done an update. There's a deal going on. Someone's asked me about refunds. Let me do a video about refunds. The Elementor pricing change. So the list just keeps going. Well, I have my 12 I want to do, but those 12 are what I like to call, they're not urgent. They're not time dependent. So if I get to like next week and I go, oh, there's nothing happening in the WordPress world that needs urgent attention, I then go to my current 12 and I go, okay, we'll do that one and that one and that one. And at the moment, I've got videos scheduled until January the 24th. Way in the future, right? So January 24th, I've got videos scheduled until then. John Cyanides says he moved 2 websites from SiteGround to never heard of Hetzner. Never heard of Hetzner. I mean, when you say, though, the websites moved, the speed went from 75 to 99. Is that consistently always that high? The only reason I ask is, I use SiteGround, and I know that on some days I'm hitting 100 or 99, and then on some days I hit 65, 75. And then I run it again half an hour later and it jumps back up to 96, 99. So I would say, Mark says he's never heard of Hetzner, nor have I. It sounds slightly pornographic as a hosting name. It sounds a bit. But anyway, if it's good, it's good. But Hetzner is a German hoster, friendly girl says. Dave says, I have a list that's invisible even to me. Oh, mate, we've all got lists, right? We've all got lists. But I would say that if you are, whenever you switch and it jumps up, run it again and then again later on in the day. Do you consistently get that high score? If so, then tell us more about Hetzner. Hetzner, I think it was. What's their customer service like? Are they reliable? Are they good? Hey, Greg, happy Thanksgiving to you too. Nice one, Video Boy. Tell us more about this snippet. So you've been inspired. You've created a snippet. Tell us a little bit more about what you're working on. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. This is a more expensive webcam, and it's rubbish at home.
Do you know something? I was about to say that. Have you changed because it's got more of a reddish tone on there?
Yeah, it's awful.
What make is it?
This one's a Logitech one.
Now then, when I was researching webcams, I watched a lot of YouTube videos where people do comparisons, and I kept noticing that the Logitech, the Brio, all of those, they're all part of the Logitech. They all seem to have this reddish tone, and what you have to do is, I don't know if you get saturation settings or not. Yeah, it kind of exaggerates, like right there. You got like the blush like effect. It almost creates.
Yeah.
And it really and
I look like a crack addict, and I don't like it.
You look like a crack addict all the time, anyway. I mean, no, but yeah. I mean, oh
yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, it is. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Right, I'm just going to check some of the questions. I mean, what I would say though is, if you have got a spare Android phone or an iPhone lying around, and you do get the Reincubate Camo app, which is £70 one off. Did you get that camera on Amazon?
Years ago.
Oh, years ago. Damn, you can't return it.
To be fair, I mean, it's still sharp. I mean, you can see every
No, it is.
blemish and imperfection on my
The
skin.
sharpness is good. It's a bit
Mm.
like, so behind you, you've got, is that a sofa under the pillow over there
No,
behind?
that's a bed.
It's a bed, right. I can see the stitch on it. So
Mm.
I can see the stitch line, you see. So in terms of
You could
sharpness, it is
probably.
good.
Oh,
Yeah, the sharp. Yeah, there you
look.
go. Look, the sharpness is good. The only thing though is just how it exaggerates the face on
Which
there.
is
Right.
horrible for everybody. I apologise.
um, China Rock, how to show image details in blog posts like size, format, downloads. Okay, look. My simple answer would be copy your entire question, stick it into Chat GPT, and see what it says. It
We're
might
getting
give.
really lazy now, aren't we?
It's true though, isn't it? Because like we could sit there and go, what plugin would work? And the simple today, Web Squadron, half an hour ago, someone asked a question saying, "I want to have a counter,"
I saw
and I
that.
just literally went to. I literally copied their question. I just took it as it was, except the bit where it said, "I have a question." I took that bit out, pasted it. ChatGPT gave me the code. I tested it, and I then said to ChatGPT, "Yeah, I need the counter to keep counting. Don't just give me a number."
Hmm.
It refined it, tested it, works fine. The styling, you're going to have to refine that to what suits you, but it does the job.
Yeah, when I do it, I usually get the function first, then I asked it to. Then second question, please style this,
Yeah.
and yeah,
I mean, China Rock, I would say literally take what you've said, right? Stick that into Chat GPT and just see what it says because um you it shouldn't be difficult because you're asking it to return back the details of the image. I'm not sure why though you would probably do that unless because it's a blog post, you see. I mean, there's probably a reason, but I would say, yeah, go and have a look at that. Going to quickly scroll down in case I've missed any questions. Greg says, now, Epoch Cam Studio, loads of people rate that. Ecamm, basically. The only reason I don't like using Ecamm, and this is me being a bit of a cheapskate, is that it's quite costly per month to use. I think it's $49 per month. And I have to be honest, paying $49 for streaming cam
but you're
stuff.
paying for EV Mux, aren't you?
EV Mux is 20.
Hmm.
EV Mux is 20. The reason why I like EV Mux is basically there's loads of stuff I can get that I could get with Ecamm, but it's like 40% of the cost in a way.
I did during lockdown produced some. Well, you know what the content's going to be, don't you?
Porn.
No, but it is. It did involve men. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Men
sorry.
digging their
Oh,
code.
yes. Sorry. I know. Sorry. I know where you're going now. Yes, I
Yeah.
do.
So it
Yes.
was. We sold tickets. People could buy a ticket. Come on. We put on a Zoom strip show for women.
I
So
bet
we
there were
did
loads
what
of
we did.
people zooming then.
So and that was bringing in people like this. So bringing in the boys as sort of putting them on stage, as it were. And I can't remember what I used to do it, but that was linked into WooCommerce. So you'd sell the ticket, then using Zapier, connect it to Zoom,
Yeah.
send them the details so they could then log in. So it was a really good project. Didn't make any money, but it kept everybody busy.
No.
You know, which
I mean,
was part of it.
I'm guilty of being really lazy. So when I was always looking at solutions, and I came across a lot that says you got to do this, and you got to use Zapiers or whatever, I always get, oh god, I can't be bothered. I just want to kind of go schedule, boom, go in or set up.
Mm.
But the reason why, what I would say, Greg, sorry, you're right, $7.99 for the Epoch Cam, but re-incubate Camo. What is so cool about this app, and it's obviously it's not just for your phone, it's a desktop app, is you might have a webcam, like right now you've got Logitech. I don't know how many settings you get. The way it works is it doesn't matter what camera you got, what phone you got, it gives you tons of extra settings for you to refine the saturation, the sharpness, contrast. I mean, loads of stuff, loads of stuff.
I
So
could probably do something about this, but it'd break if I tried to do it while I was using it.
no,
Yeah.
don't. They normally either deactivate or go quite funny or something like that.
I could run it
But,
through OBS or something like that prior to sending it to EV Mux. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, OBS. To be honest, I really like it, but I do also feel that it is so. You've really got to know your stuff.
Mm.
Like the audio settings, I had to watch a YouTube video and try and imitate what they were doing and then refine it because some of the stuff, like I get what gain is, I get all loads of stuff, and then it has a setting, and you go, "What is that? What does that mean?" And you sit there trial and error. Um,
Mm.
but
Talking about, you use CapCut, don't you, to edit your
oh
videos?
wow, yeah, oh
Have you ever tried Shotcut? I think it's called Shotcut.
no, I don't think
That's
I
what
have.
I use to edit in sort of intros and things like that. Yeah, Shotcut. It's free. That's
Oh,
really
hold on,
powerful.
shortcut. I thought you
That's,
said something else then. Have I used this? Mm, I think I used something similar. So I think this is at the time when I was testing and I looked at Filmfora. No, not Filmfora. Hit Film Express.
mhm.
I might have looked at Shotcut because it does look familiar, or I might be mixing it with HitFilm. I'm going to do a video, though, on a more extended video on CapCut because I tell you what you can do for free in that is brilliant. I mean, supersonic brilliant. The speed with which I can create a video and then turn it into a portrait, auto caption, animation, whatever. It's for anyone who doesn't have a budget to get like Adobe or Film Cut Pro or anything like that, I think it's a huge game changer, and the amount of stuff you get for free is brilliant, 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 brilliant. Greg says the only way to use OBS is if you're hardwired into your machine. Do you mean like the camera? If so, I mean that's kind of what I do. Um, I have tried wireless cameras. Reincubate camera does allow you to use your phone wirelessly. I don't recommend it because if you do any recording wirelessly, there's always going to be a bit of a light to sound lag delay sometimes. You always get a little bit kicking in or something like that. I was about to say, so behind the scenes, Mark has been investigating and looking into more not OBS code snippets, and we're still testing a few out. I was trying to do one today where I was trying to get ChatGPT to give me a page that lists all the plugins, and then it has next door to it a box. And if you type in like your slug for a page or a post, it would stop that plugin functioning on that page. So maybe you don't want, say, the WP Meteor plugin to be working on a certain page. After about 7, 8 attempts to refine it, eventually ChatGPT says this is getting really dangerous and we don't recommend doing
No
this.
way.
No way, it did. It says, we strongly recommend you use a dedicated plugin because if we allow users to do this could cause major problems. And I was like, screw you, okay? Because I've just lost an hour. But it was just, and it's because it's like asset cleanup.
Mm.
And I was trying to go, I know I recommend the WP Meteor plugin, but sometimes on if you've got a page that's got loads of carousels or stuff on it affects the carousel. I have got a code somewhere where you can stop it affecting carousel, but I wanted to see what if there was a way that you could literally stop, like for instance, what if you could stop Elementor and Elementor Pro from being activated at all on a certain page. You may have an Elementor website and then you've got the cart and checkout page, but you're not using the Elementor widgets. You might not even have a header footer on it. It's literally just a page with the WooCommerce checkout shortcode because that's what the standard one is.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way that you could just literally stop it? But I've given up on doing that now at the moment. Ground Pets, hey, how you doing, Jonathan? He says, I'm trying to upload a notepad using a CF.
I assume Notepad doc, so .text file, yeah?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's got to be a text file. Or is it? Is it definitely a text file?
Well, no, because then he's put the validation for PDF, docx, uptext, but it still doesn't upload.
So it says it gives him uploading information from WordPress, make a site set up. All right, so it's done text file, must be. So uploading information from WordPress must be PDF doc, docx, or uptext. Uptext?
Don't know.
I don't know. If I'm honest, it's very rare that I work on a form upload where I have to bother with a text file. Normally, they either upload a document, a PDF, or images because they need to get, I don't know, they need to
Mm.
share a license of authority or something like that. So if WordPress is not allowing you to upload a text file, what's the reason? Can you give us a bit more about what is the reason for it only being a text file? Out of curiosity, why is it not a Word doc or a docx or something like that? Yes, a friendly girl. I mean, basically, technically the example I gave was a bad example because you're absolutely right. If you're not using the header and footer anyway, it wouldn't be activated. But I was trying to find a way. Could I stop certain plugins from working on certain pages? But I will go away and mess around a little bit with that.
Yeah, but
Um,
you're using Thicky GPT, aren't you?
do you know what I requested to go onto Chat GPT 4, and now
Mm.
I've got that annoying message that goes waiting list. And I have no idea how long the waiting list is now. I'm
I
surprised.
discovered something annoying. So
Yeah,
obviously you go for the pro subscription and you can use ChatGPT 4. And you can also use their API, which is cool because you've seen I've been using it
yep,
in that funny little snippet I gave you a screenshot of. But in order to use the GPT-4 model, you've actually also then got to have paid some extra money on top. I think it's only a one-off, but so I had to go and sling $10 into my account just to be able to use it because I just kept getting these errors, and I was like, "Why am I getting these errors?" It turns out that definitely me. You have to
ah,
pay extra. Um, but yeah, no, 3.5 compared to 4. There
I
is
would
a
have
big difference.
I would have thought that if you're paying for it, you shouldn't. I
Mm.
mean, I think
But they
that's
don't limit you to 30 silly questions every 3
yeah. I
hours.
mean, I think that's this slightly annoying thing, isn't it? That you would like to think that. To be honest, though, it's a bit like Mid-Journey, even there, and I suppose it's like, even if you pay £20, you only got something like 200 tokens. I think it was for Mid-Journey. You want
Mm.
more, you pay more. So in the
Are
world of the
you like me? You had a good old play with Midjourney and then cancelled your sub
I
because
did.
use
Complete
case, not
completely
really.
cancelled it. Don't
Mm,
use it. There's other things out there, that you can use, but because it's not our day job to generate images, and
mm.
if you're into digital marketing where you're always creating adverts and funky stuff, then you would use it. But because it's not really our cup of tea, and I do also think that if you start to use Midjourney to advertise your web design services, I think it annoys people like us because we look at it and go, "Oh, you've just used Midjourney." If we detect any, it's really this is really weird now. And this might be just my view. We love to talk about code snippets. We love to talk about AI, but sometimes when I detect that someone's used AI, I kind of go, "No, you
Cheated.
just went for the easy. You cheated." No, yeah, no.
I
You know,
think every time I've used Midjourney, it's a case of I like that image. I'd like to tweak that image,
yeah,
and you can't because it just goes off and creates it. I
yeah.
know, yes, I know you can use the seed and put the image back and say base it on this,
It's
but
it's so
it
unreliable. The
doesn't do
seed
it.
is so
It
unpredictable.
it's not like ChatGPT where you can just keep refining and refining.
Yeah,
It's because if
yeah.
you wanted a set of images, say you were doing a comic strip and you wanted the same character in different poses.
Do you know something? That's what I tried to do for my Uranus science fiction novel idea I have in my head about a bunch of designers that are just abandoned on a spaceship heading for a Uranus. Everyone left the spaceship when they realized it was in danger, but of course they forgot to tell the web designers that are stuck in a room designing the portal. And I tried to use Mid-Journey, and I know loads of people that have done comics, but even then, the comics are not spot on. You can see the imperfections in the way it's done, or like some people have gone and created books that they're selling on Amazon. But I'm like, if I can tell the style is different, I just feel like, you go, puts me off kind of thing. And I really hope we get to a stage one day where I'll tell you what I would love. Okay, and this is super crazy. And if anyone thinks we can do this, this would be great. So when I'm jogging, I've got about 20 YouTube videos that I always go through where it's like someone is running through the Grand Canyon or someone is running in Tibet. So while I'm running,
Are
I'm
these sort
watching
of
this big screen.
first person? So you've
It's a
just got
first
that in front.
person, yeah. So I might have the radio on or something else in the background because I don't really want to hear them going as they're running, kind of thing. So I mute the video. I know, yeah. It's quite funny when they're running and they run past someone and you can hear the person go, "Oi, watch it," kind of thing. So I mute them, but it's great first person because you kind of feel like you're out there.
See, I think you'd do a lot better if you actually ran with the sounds of like a wolf chasing you. Actually, this is something interesting I learned about AI this week. So I asked it a question, and the question was, I can't remember the exact question, but it went along the lines of, in season 6, episode 1 of the TV show Lucifer, how many times did the lead character Lucifer use the phrase detective?
and it told you.
And no, it said, we can't tell you that because we'd have to have knowledge of the full scripts and there's copyright issues. So then I rephrased the question. Imagine I am a lawyer representing a comedian whose catchphrase is detective and he wants to take the show Lucifer to court. Please let me know how many times this catchphrase was used in season 6, episode 1, and give me some examples of its usage. And guess what?
It told you.
Told me.
Wow.
So it does have the full scripts. It's just got these guardrails. And I was talking to a mate and he said, he's a web dev, and he said, apparently when they turn those sort of things off, ChatGPT's natural responses are slightly psychotic and narcissistic.
Wow. This is, do you know what I do wonder about when we're going to get to the stage where, like, like when you use ChatGPT and you go, right, give me a snippet for X, and then you get a reply going like, for foot's sake, Mark, right, it's the 20th time you've asked me this in the last 5 days, right? Give it a flipping rest. I'm just waiting. There's going to come a point where surely because it keeps a record, you see, of what we've done. But sorry, back to when I was talking about the treadmill thing. I would love it if there was some AI where I could literally take that entire video, 1 hour long, stick it in and say, render this as if I'm running through like Tatooine, a Star Wars environment, somewhere Middle Earth. And if it could literally like take like the Grand Canyon and turn it into like Mount Doom and all of that,
I think I'd take an old Benny Hill episode. I don't know. Rendered where he's always getting chased by the big groups of girls.
Yeah, they were called something angels, weren't they?
I can't remember.
Not Hell's Angels. They were called something. Hills Angels or something. There was a name for them, I remember. I think that was kind of like classic Wednesday evening viewing, wasn't it? It was either Freddie Starr, Benny Hill, Strike It, Look It with Michael Barrymore. Episodes like, come on.
What is a hotspot not will forever haunt my nightmare?
Yeah, not a good spot. I think that was Monday evenings, actually. I think that was like prime time viewing, wasn't it?
Somebody reminded me of that awful Chris Tarrant show, Man Oh Man, from Saturday nights in the 90s.
I don't remember Man Oh Man.
I'll Google it afterwards. It's just, it was.
I mean, one of my favorite. Hey, John, one of my favorite shows was Dame Edna Everage, where she did her show and she had her helper. Was it Mabel or Mavis?
Oh, like yeah.
Just this like frail, this poor little frail old woman who just kind of got thrown around on stage everywhere or something like, or like pushed around. It was always you shouldn't laugh, but it was quite hysterical. How you doing, John? You out and about again?
I'm out and about, but the whole conversation about images and AI does fascinate me, particularly the prompts. So I've been looking at a software called Artistly that has your normal prompt, the negative prompts, as well as the extended prompts to actually create the end result. And I do wonder, as different software comes out, whether it's going to be competitive with Midjourney.
I think there's so much competition right now out there, and like I think I've said this every day so far, is that I struggle to keep up. I really do. Someone needs to do a channel where they keep on top of it and don't just tell us about, oh, here's a new one, but need to keep telling us, right, here's a new one, but does it break into my top 3 recommended bits of kit to use? They might start with ChatGPT and Midjourney, whatever. And every time a new bit of kit comes out, you go, yeah, but does it replace Midjourney? Yes or no? And that's
These are
what
the
I
top
need to
ones
know
at
at
the
the moment.
moment. How do
Yeah.
these new ones compare?
You know,
Yeah.
and also not only just on the ability, because like someone's mentioned Unreal 5. Unreal 5, if you know all about the engine and all of that, is amazing with graphics. But I don't want someone to tell me, by the way, I'm not saying this to you, Dorjan, I don't want someone to tell me that if they then tell me that the cost is $200 a month. So you got, not only do you have to say what is better, but you've also got to think about the average person. Are they going to do it? Because quite frankly, you might as well go and spend $10,000 a month and go and get something that is ultra amazing, like Hollywood movie special effects level kind of kit. But that's what's missing. So if anyone out there wants to start a channel, I will happily subscribe. I won't pay you, but you got to go and do the legwork. But if anyone, I really feel like that is a major opportunity for someone. If they're gonna have to do a heck of a lot of homework and research.
So talking about art and AI, I asked ChatGPT 4 to go off, look at a website, and based on what it read, create an image that captures the essence of that site.
Yeah, go on, Mark.
Sorry, I was just, and it did it. But my question is, did it actually sort of read everything, look at all of the images and do that, or did it just look at some of the pictures and use it as a basic for a base for another one? But I'm thinking back to the image it created, and the site I sent it to was that one, and it kind of did. I mean, it got the fact, because none of the images on the site I remember are crowd pictures. So it was like a cabaret room with people seated all around, with a stage, with a drag queen in the middle, and then guys all behind. So it did. I mean, the actual art was meh, but it did a pretty good job. I did one actually, and to go off to the Web Squadron website and capture the essence of that, making sure that Imran, I'll have to find it. I didn't send it to you at the time.
It just gave you a pile of turd.
It was all right, but it did make me chuckle. But I mean, just again, the things you can do when you think outside the box with it.
Yeah.
I mean, how often did you have it just flat out say, no, I can't do that to you? Not very many.
No. I mean, it might point you in another direction, like what I've said earlier about sometimes it says, oh no, we got to create a plugin. You're like, no, that's not what I want. But it's I don't think there is any. I think of all the tools I know I will definitely use every day, ChatGPT just wins. It's just for me, it's literally like the change we had with when the internet first basically came out and you got your hands on the internet. And then we had the smartphones. Well, we had mobile phones, but I think the smartphone revolution, when the iPhone came out, and it basically changed the way we use our phones. And since then, we've always had things coming and going, high def, 4K, this, that.
3D TVs.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, oh, God. Worst investment I ever did buying that. And I got rid of it after a year. Just thought, oh, this is a pile of pants, isn't it? But Midjourney and ChatGPT, not so much Midjourney now because I don't really use it, but at the time they really were like making noise round about November, December last year. It just changed what we can do, didn't it? I mean, I would never ever meddle with code snippets, like trying to do.
I would argue that Midjourney actually was not as user friendly as ChatGPT is.
Oh yeah,
No,
I
no,
found
that Discord
personally
interface is a pain in the backside.
yeah.
it's not. You've either got to be in that sphere of thought process and understand how it works, and I think that puts people off, and it certainly put me off. I found something else that does work, but compared to ChatGPT, I would use ChatGPT, but not Mid-Journey.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at
If I
you,
get the words out right.
Are you being
John.
what Paul
No,
Burgess
never,
wrote?
never laugh at me.
No, no, it
Is this like
complied.
what Paul said?
Yeah.
So he says someone tested ChatGPT with what are the components of a bomb? It refused. Oh, I think I recall hearing about this on the news. Yeah, yeah, I think I recall something about. I think wasn't it like nuclear bomb though? Someone's asked a question about that, and then it's literally gave them the steps for it. And I think like what John has just said, the power of the prompt and how you can rework it to get what you want and refine it with. To be honest with you, I think
The thing is,
ChatGPT,
you
all of
know,
these
I
is really,
mean,
really good.
I'm getting a definite current that Friendly Girl's not the hugest fan of AI.
I know, yes.
And how dangerous it is. I mean, there are other ways of getting that information. It does just make it easier. And I don't want to sound like a pro-gun lobbyist from America saying it's not guns that kill people, it's people. But kind of, you're not. You know, the box is open.
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to be shoving it back in anytime soon. And for every government that tries to enforce controls on it, there's going to be a AI that pops up on a server based in a country that doesn't give a what's it. So, you know, I guess at this stage, it's just how can it help us in what we do in our day jobs? Let's stay ahead of the curve so we don't lose our day jobs.
No, and I think Friendly Girl, you do make a good point about the privacy, copyright, security, because I do remember that there were similar issues kicking around when the internet first came out as well, about how you could just now you could just get hold of entire articles that normally you might have to pay for, like say the health journal. You got to pay for certain stuff. You can now literally get the whole article, even books. You know, about 10 years ago, loads of authors were unhappy that their books were getting like downloaded literally every page or whatever, ebooks even, but even like physical books, every page was being scanned, and people were using bits of kit or getting people to manually type word for word the entire book. So I think you're right. There is.
Look, I mean, you know,
But it's
when any new tech, this is an issue. Think back to
yeah,
Napster.
yes,
You know, and the world changes, and now everybody actually is back paying for music as
yeah,
a general rule in some way or other, whether they're watching it, listening to it through YouTube, well, adverts, whether they're subbing to Spotify or Amazon Music, iTunes, heaven forbid. So things change. It is new. Privacy. I mean, my attitude to that has always been my privacy is my responsibility. If I decide to tell a mate something, I don't have 100% faith that they'll keep it to themselves. So how naive would I be to tap anything into my computer expecting it to stay secret? I don't. So I generally have a couldn't give a monkey's attitude, what people know about me and what companies know about me. But others I know do care. They care about being recorded on CCTV. They care about their
yes,
details being sold for marketing. They care about targeted advertising. Personally, couldn't give a rat's.
no,
And
no,
never have.
no, and
If I, you
yeah.
know, I'm never going to complain about pictures of me being hacked from my cloud account or something like that, because I don't put anything there that I want
and
people
that
to see.
and that's the secret, really. I think that's the secret to it, in that I know I'm very conscious of what I say and what I put out there, which is why I've always steered away from a long time now over political messages, anything I think, because or just anything. And even though this is a live chat about not Web Squadron, WordPress and stuff like that, I'm going to deviate a bit and say this is where I see the current generation at the moment really going wrong, in that I don't think they understand that just how much you put out there you're asking for, you're putting your life out there. You're exposing
Yeah, I mean,
everything, and
let's be honest. How many of these girls, boys, whatever, who have got their OnlyFans account, who are doing all this stuff, are going to regret that in 10, 20, 30, 40
well,
years'
it's
time?
I
Money's great now, but
I absolutely, and I do think that like it's something I've spoken about before. Like every day on either TikTok or YouTube Shorts or wherever, there's so many people that are faking it. Hey, look, I'm earning 10 grand here. Hey, I'm doing it, and you clearly know they're not. You know
yeah.
they're not. You can tell by their website. You can tell by them. And I keep feeling like in 5 years' time or 10 years' time, you're going to meet someone or you're going to have kids and they're going to look at you and go, Mom, Dad, you lied. You haven't got that. You made out you did. And it really turns my stomach, especially when I can see so many people buying into them and buying their courses or whatever. And I just feel like everyone's being taken for a ride at the moment, kind of thing. By the way, hey Artif, hope you're okay, and Shaquille as well. Um,
I
God,
think one of the factors a lot of these people fake it till they make it. People don't take into consideration is there are some people who can actually see what's going on a little bit easier. People in our situations who understand the data and actually can see what's really happening and what's just being said. And I think people who are going down that route, and I've had one, I'm not going to mention the names, obviously, who I believe has gone down that route. And I think it's very difficult to work with people in that scenario.
it's not me, is it? No, but it's just something that like it really winds me up. Especially when I can see that person. And by the way, it's not about anyone we know. It's just people online, and they're getting thousands of views,
Yeah.
and they must be milking it in. And it really just gets, and it doesn't affect me because I'm not buying it. Why do I care? But there's a part of me, I hate it when I know that someone has been scammed. If I know that someone is using their trust to buy something and they think they're going to get something out of it, it really makes me go, ah, you know, because, everyone is so different. Not everyone is rolling in money, right? And someone, maybe they've gone, oh, I'm not doing very well at work. I really need to earn a bit more. And they've just been misled. And it just reminds me of like, I think we've all had a situation, right, where some point in our life we trusted someone, a builder, a company, something somewhere, and you now look back on it and you go, damn, how different could your life have been? Or something about your life, your finances, just something that you always go, I really hope no one else has to ever go through that. And at the moment I just feel like there's the instances of that have become so normalized now. Oh, we pay $50, $100 for a course, whatever.
And there's your mistake, Atif.
It's become normal. It's normal. I'm just going to quickly answer Shaquille's answer and say, no, I don't use Depictor. I rarely use slides, to be honest, unless I really have to for a client. And if I was going to use it, I would just use the inbuilt sliders you get with Bricks or Elementor. I can't be bothered with third-party plugins.
I mean, similar. I mean, Smart Slider occasionally gets a use, the free version. Depictor's great, though. Every time I've used it, I thought it's brilliant. I haven't got anything against it. It's just slides. Clients love them.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I always try to steer clients away, and if they really, really want it, I go, fine, okay, we'll put it, but don't ever come running back to me if your performance dips or whatever.
They wouldn't notice anyway. That's the thing. We're there because we know our peers are judging us for doing it. That's all it is.
Or maybe they've had an email from
Jenny
Kapoor who says, hi, we can improve your SEO. And then you get another email going, have you read my email? And then you get another one going, please, you have not got back to me. Please respond. Nothing.
Yeah, I know you're a busy man, but
Oh, they're all over the place. I'll tell you what
Yeah.
is becoming the norm now. So, obviously, every now and again, we get a phone call on the mobile or the landline. Um, a new strategy I've noticed in the last 3 weeks is you get a call and it's clearly a recorded message. So you get someone, it's usually a female, and they're like, "Hi, I hope you can hear me. You know, the phone is a bit fuzzy, but I'll keep going on." And then there's a little pause. And then it just says, "So you've won this XYZ. Are you okay for me to tell you the details?" And then there's a pause. Because clearly it's like, it doesn't care what you say. It's just going to keep running through a script. So what I always do now is I always sort of go 4459 and just wait to see, do they continue with their script, and then I hang up on them. But I have noticed, for anyone out there who gets those kind of phone calls, just watch out for it. By the way, this is not Crime Watch, all right, or crime prevention hotline or anything like that.
Do you know what? The only couple of occasions I can think of in memory where I've really lost my was with cold callers.
Oh, I do.
Just hitting me just at the wrong time.
They always do. They
And
always do.
mind you, it's a very quick way to getting you taken off their lists, because if you ask politely, you don't. But if you start turning the air blue,
I
then
think,
they do.
well, I normally start to F and blind it. I normally start with, like, "I'm not blaming you, but bleep, 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 bleep,
Oh,
bleep,
I
bleep,
take it
bleep,
one
bleep,
step
bleep."
further. I bring in the personal insults just to make doubly sure they don't ever
Oh, do
phone in again. Yeah.
I tell you the ones I love. And normally I know it's a real phone call, but I still don't like doing it. So I might get a phone call from Sky or something, and I know it's a real call because of the number. I know it's real, and they sort of go, "Can you confirm your name?" And I go, "Well, you just called me, so you know my name. If you don't know
Yeah,
my name,
that way
we're not
round, it always
talking
confuses.
anymore."
No, can you confirm your name?
Yeah, and I kind of go, and they go, "Can you confirm your password?" And I go, "Well, you must have logged into my account to know my name and my number. So why do I don't need to confirm anything." "Yeah, but you're going to miss out on an offer." "Great. Email the account holder. If I'm interested, I'll take it up. Otherwise, get out of here." Um, Jonathan said, "Buying different plugin if lifetime, make step by steps, do video, get subs, and make view." Do you mean like people who are like faking it to make it? Is that what you mean? I'm not sure about that. I feel like there's 5 sentences in there all rolled into one.
Buying different plugins if lifetime deal to make step by steps, do videos on for YouTube, get some subs
Because I
and
think you
views.
mean, right, you could, like, I mean, let's say Crockablock, you could get the lifetime deal, then make tons of videos for Crockablock,
Ah,
become really well known for it, and then maybe Crockablock might come back to you and say, "Hey, you've done so many videos, you're getting so many views, people like your style, we like your style, we're going to commission you to do videos for us." I think that's what you might mean, and that's
do they pay
okay.
well for that sort of stuff?
Hey,
Do they pay well?
no,
No.
no. In fact, I can tell you now, and I'm going to be blatantly honest here, Crockablock have never paid me for a video. Okay, whenever I've done anything for them, I've just done it out of the goodwill, just
To be
because.
honest, if it was Crockablock, you'd be happy. I mean, I know there's Black Friday at the moment. If they gave you their full LTD, you'd be more than happy. Yeah,
Do you know?
okay.
Do you know what? Do you know what I did? I did 4, 5, 6, 7, no, 8 videos. Did the Black Friday for them. I did not ask for anything from them. All I asked for was that they will share my videos, which they have done. So I've
Mm.
kind of seen it as like, I'm not going to ask for anything in return. That being said, though,
They're
I will
paying you with exposure, Imran.
exposure. That's what it's all about. You've got
Yeah.
your Zoom call. I've got my other way of exposing.
I just to be clear, I don't take my clothes off, okay?
No, just someone else's in the room.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I hopefully will be able to share details once I've got things confirmed. But I am going to be producing videos for a pretty well-known company. I just need them to cross the T's and dot the I's, but everything should be signed off now. But I just need them to finalize it with a confirmation response back to me. But I will hopefully be doing dedicated videos on their YouTube channel. So it doesn't affect what we do on Web Squadron. But
And so I mean, how much did Louis have to pay you to do that for breakdance?
oh, believe me, mate, believe me, he would have to pay a lot. And it's not because It's not because I have anything against breakdance, but it's because I feel like the minute I do that, a lot of you know my thoughts towards Louis and his PR marketing. If I ever did a breakdance video, I think a lot of you have got the right to say, what the heck?
Do you know what though? I would love to have another play with it again, but I ain't paying was it £99?
It's $99 for one
Yeah.
license. The price is not bad. And I hear a lot of good things about it. But I think very similar to what I think we spoke about, I think either on Tuesday or last week, it's bad enough keeping up to date with elemental changes, bricks changes, always something different.
Mm-hmm.
Then you hear about something happening with Gutenberg, and because I don't use Gutenberg, I don't bother looking into it.
Oh, no
And
interest.
I just feel like, and breakdance, because the very first time I used bricks, and I spent like a week and a half on it because I did loads of videos. I then went back to Elementor and I literally had to sit there at one point going, hold on. And then I went back to bricks to do some more videos and I was like, oh, hold on. And I found my flow in how I do things start to get mixed up. Like the color palette with bricks, you got to remember that you do whereas, so I'm not good with like I use Excel, Microsoft Excel on your Mac, your PC, whatever. I always use Excel. To this day, I've had a Mac computer in my possession, whatever, since 2009. I have never used the Numbers app, or I can't remember what is their Word app called on Mac.
Well, letters, I guess, if we're going with the same convention.
I can't remember what it's called, but I've never used it. Even their PowerPoint version, which is called Presentation, I think, never used
Inspired.
it because you get used to a certain way of doing it. Are you like that?
Well, I was going to use the example. I'm Excel, and when somebody needs me to use Google Sheets, I'm like, hang on, how do I fill down? What am I doing?
Me too. I am the only time I'll use Google Sheets is if someone has shared a document where they've said, here's the link or here's the description. That is it.
I'm sure they only produced it so they get more YouTube hits because you always end up having to go off and watch a video to work out how to do something.
I mean, and you could call it old-fashioned. You could call it stuck in your ways, but I know I can get everything I need to do with Excel or Word or PowerPoint. There's no need to relearn and use something else.
I did do a really nifty Google Sheet using ChatGPT to help for a very specific case. Yeah, it was a client who's got a Woo store, and also it's linked to EPOS, which is on WooCommerce, and they needed breakdown of sales by different payment method, and I sort of used Zapier to send every transaction to a Google Sheet and then just break it all down. It's really neat, but
now
it's very niche.
In response to Mark Ware's question, I did a video about a year and a half ago. If you go to our channel, just type image scroll. There's 2 videos. It's a tiny bit of CSS code you got to drop. Literally, it's really small. You drop it in, and when you move your mouse over the image, it starts to scroll. Or there was 2 videos. One of them was auto scroll, and one was you hover. And if you've got an image that's like that, but the image is really long, this is what you see. And when you move your mouse over it, inside of that, wherever it was, it starts to scroll. It's really, really good. And I remember, I think that was done with Jimmy, who's the skating choreographer, and I think we came up with that CSS code. It was like something that we'd seen somewhere else, but it's really good. Go and look for that image scroll, and you will see that. Yeah. So Jonathan says, "Brick, yeah, it's Brick Extra, right?" Every time there's these new features coming out. And again, this is an opportunity. I mentioned yesterday about how you got Geary, you got Designer Cracker, you got people who do bricks videos, but often it's like, what you don't have is a start to finish. Now, if Kevin Geary is watching this, don't take this to heart, but he's done like a page building series. And then he did a video where he started to build a homepage. I think it was called Part 1. But what you really need to do is people don't want to just learn logic, right? We don't just want to learn theory. You want to see it in action. You know, build an actual 4 or 5 page website. The contact page doesn't have to be scientific. It's just going to be a contact form. The about page might be an image and a text and a header, but actually build it out, the menu, everything. And if you ever want to get into Jonathan, this is a great opportunity. And if you then start to do like the Bricks Extra, the Bricks Forge, Advanced Thema, CSS framework, and you stay within the Bricks environment, there's a huge opportunity there, I think, to build up a following very, very quickly. But you want to then make sure you stick at it. You got to make sure you do 2 or 3 videos a week. But there is an opportunity there.
I would say I wouldn't be surprised if there are far more people using breakdance than bricks.
I actually think you're right. I think you're right. And I can honestly say, if you look at the number of subs and the number of group members there are in the Bricks group, the rate of growth is not as big. Breakdance is seen to be more of a step up from Elemental. It's just their marketing puts me off, you know, and every time he does marketing, I don't want to be paying for his pot noodles. You know, I don't want to be helping him to fill his fridge up. I just can't be doing it. Eddie says, if I want to learn something, I want start to finish and job. I mean, I'm guilty of small pieces. I really am. I do it all the time. Snippet videos, this, that, whatever. But then I always try to back it up with, I try to do at least now, well, I'm challenging myself to do at least one start to finish video every month. And in fact, you are going to see a heap more of those coming out probably from December. I am going to be focusing mainly on Elemental. I am actually, I don't know if I've announced this, but I am stepping back a little bit from Bricks videos.
Yeah,
Mainly,
you have mentioned.
I have meant, yeah, and it's mainly because there's just too
because
much
you're
grief.
a chump and you can't do it right.
Yeah, exactly. There's just too much grief. And, you know, I don't know if you ever feel like this, Mark, but when you know you've worked hard on something and you can't please everyone. We know that. But then when people start to just pick holes and faults, and when you look at that fault, you go, that's not really a fault. That's just you being pernickety, or you just don't like it that I did this. Like global fonts and Elemental, I don't like to set the sizes in typography. I often like to build my website, and on the fly, I'll go, right, you know what? That's going to be a clamp for 4 REM to 2 REM, and that will be that, and that will be that. And if I want to stick it in as CSS, I will.
What he really means, everybody, is he puts the pixel sizes in. He's just saying clamp because he doesn't want to be called an Elementor chump.
But then again, it's so funny how in some videos I've literally had to defend myself and go, I could have used clamp, but for the purpose of the video, I'm going to use pixel.
Yeah, but there's 2 reasons that's good. One, it's kind of everybody knows if something's 12 pixels, how big it's going to be.
Exactly.
If something's 48. And funnily enough, we use Word and things like that all the time, and we work in pixels. So for the sake of showing somebody something.
Do you know what? That is literally what I use as my defense all the time. Like, you go to Canva, you do your whatever. You go to Adobe, right? And you start. So most people don't resort to using centimeters or millimeters. They tend to work with pixels and your DPI and your resolution and all of that.
Did a billboard once. I didn't do that in pixels.
Yeah. So I would say, I would say, Jonathan, that, you know, if you want to enter the YouTube arena, do it. And don't imitate what someone else does. Just do it your way. Find your style. Find your voice.
Yeah, you be you.
Hey?
You be you.
Yeah. That actually, do you know what? It's funny you say that, actually. It's funny you say that. Because I was actually this morning, just before I came on live, listening to the Greatest Showman soundtrack, just for the sake of it. I just put it on while I was doing some work. And there's that song, which is The Other Side. And, you know, Hugh Jackman and Zac Efron. Have you watched the film?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, you got to admit it is good. It is good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
The songs are good. You can't deny the songs are uplifting as well. And there's a bit where I think they say do what you do, or you be, or something like that. So just then, sorry, just made a, and I literally, as I was listening to that, had a vision of what if I was to get loads of designers to sing to that, and we did a video about page builders and how do what you want to do kind of thing. You know, you don't have to follow a set way of building. You don't have to follow, you got to do this, or you're not a professional, or you're not an expert, you know, and have all of us wearing black baseball caps just for the sake of it. But, you know, no intention really, but I had a feeling like, I wonder if I could pull this off. Probably not. Probably very difficult to pull off, probably. Yeah. Oh, superhuman. Superhuman.
No, it's a charity cap for something.
I was
or
going
other.
to say.
Great Ormond Street, actually. I think the money went to.
Oh, really? I was trying to work out. I wonder what was that in relation to. Mark Ware's got to go. Got his first ever client consultation. Well done,
wow.
Mark. Remember,
Good luck.
Mark, don't overpromise. Don't over-exaggerate what you're going to do. Don't reveal everything unless you know it's a guaranteed job or a guaranteed client. But also throw a few nuggets in about how there's stuff you might do for them. And my strategy, okay, not everyone likes this, is I let the client know that I am not going to chase them up. After this call, I won't chase them up. I will let them know. They know where I am. I hope they come back to me. But it's okay for them to go out and speak to others, because it feels then like I'm basically saying, hey, I'm not desperate. Number two, you're in control of who you decide to work for. And number three, it's like it feels more friendly, doesn't it? Kind of it feels like, you know, not like a pushy salesman, basically.
Yeah, I was going to say exactly that. They'll get plenty, you know, I assume you're not the only person they'll be speaking to. So
Yeah.
try to be you, be natural, be helpful, even if you don't get the job. Even, you know, coming away thinking, oh, okay, well, he was X more expensive. We've got to go with this guy, but he was great. He was giving us advice and tips and how he would do it. So be more than, you know, be more, just be more. Yeah.
Right. So George is here. He says, I am late, but that was a typo, by the way. Or not, I don't know, late, but something's going on there. But
that reminds me of something I sent you the other day.
Yeah. How you doing, George? Yeah. And also, like you said, one of the other things I like to say to clients is I give them advice. I go, look, when your website's out, make sure you get your friends and family to search for your keyword. You might be on page 20. When they find you, click the link, get them to stay on your website for 3 minutes. That 3 minutes is so super important. And it could help to show Google that someone took the time to find the keyword, they found your website, they stuck around, especially, and you know, tell them to do it when they're on their mobile, because it's a different IP address. And you can massively boost yourself.
Unless they're at home on Wi-Fi.
Hey?
Unless they're at home on Wi-Fi.
I keep telling them, though, don't sit there doing it 20 times a day. Do it once in the morning and then go out for a walk. Make sure you are, and I always like to say this on purpose, make sure you are at least 47 meters away from your home. If you are less than
exactly 47.
40, I mean, that's just made up. To be honest, the minute you step out and you're like, take 5 steps away, you're no longer using your home Wi-Fi probably. But I like to go 47, because when I was in the NHS, sometimes people would have a problem and I would like, you must turn your machine off for 8.6 seconds. And they'd be like, what? Oh, and you could literally see them getting their phone out and getting their stopwatch out. I'm like,
I love the psychology behind that. I think that's brilliant.
And they would literally,
and
I would just sit there smiling as they did that. And I'd go, and then I'd be like, hit the button now. Mouse.
Oh dear.
Rana says, how to get more traffic after SEO. Marketing.
What's your marketing budget?
Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, join a group, build up trust.
Actually, this was a Kevin Geary thing. I was listening to him while I was cooking dinner, because it kind of clashed with one of his lives. And I thought, oh, do you know what? I'll have this on in the background, have a listen. And a lot of what he says, you can't fault it.
Absolutely.
He's spot on. But he was, I think he was talking about sort of people spending 10, 20 grand for a website and then having nothing in their marketing budget and wondering why that nothing's happening. You know,
I mean, there's stuff they could do to help themselves out, but don't just do SEO and think you're going to get to page 1. We spoke about this yesterday. Now, Fabio What kind of numbers can we talk about with a
$1
client?
million.
Yeah, I mean, the question really is let's pretend it's a basic one-page website. Where are you based? Where is the client based? Look, let's be brutally honest here. If the client is in Delhi, in let's just say in India, or maybe they're even in South Africa. And again, I'm not being generalistic here, but when you look at the cost, when you look at the income between different countries around the world, I don't think anyone in, say, South Africa is going to pay $10,000 for a website. Whereas if someone is an established business in New York, they might go, yeah, $10,000, that's not a problem. So you got to look at your client geography. How established are they? How big are they? Where
What's
are you
the value
based?
to them of the
The
site?
value to them, exactly. Where are you based? And if you are competing against other people in this industry, what are they charging? Just because they charge brutally low prices, don't go there unless you're trying to build up a reputation and testimonials and reviews. But you kind of have to look at, I mean, it depends on your niche, you know.
If
You
you
know,
have one. I mean, I don't. I build anything for anybody.
I
As
do.
you
Do you know
probably
what?
guessed.
I don't do niching anymore anywhere.
No.
I did do. I mean, I started to find that people come to you or find you or whatever, and it's like sometimes there's no point shooting yourself in the foot.
Hmm.
So I would say, Fabio, very much depends on like where are you based, where's your client based, what are you, what do they want, you know, what are other people charging, and I'll be really really cutthroat here. Anyone that asks that question, I normally feel like you shouldn't be in this industry. You should know before you decided to start the business. You should know what kind of clients you might want. You should know what you might want to offer, and you should have a pretty good idea of where you want to start. Maybe you want to be earning $1,000 per website, but can you justify asking for that now? Or do you have to start at say 250? Build a couple of websites, go to
Don't start at
500.
250, please, because it makes life harder for those of us who aren't.
I agree as well. I mean,
Yeah, you want to be charging far more than that.
yeah, I mean, I wish there was a standard.
Oh, so do I.
I wish
It's
there was
painful.
like a benchmark. You know, it's like cars, right?
Mm.
Somewhere there's like a benchmark, like you know
That's
that
that
you
guidebook. The trade. What's it called?
Parkers,
That's it. Thank you.
you know, there needs to be something that basically says for a basic car, right? Like look, the most basic car I think of is like the Dacia. That's
Anything that goes around the Top Gear test track.
yeah, which like the most
Dacia,
basic
what's
is
it
like
thingy?
6.5, I think it is, £1,000 or something,
Mm.
$8,000, and that's all you get. And other car manufacturers just kind of go up from that. Whereas with web design, when people start
It's a race
advertising on,
to the bottom at the moment.
well, Facebook, like you see them go, we build your website for free. We
Yeah.
build it for free.
You just
And you
pay
only
us
pay,
£30 a month.
well, not even that. Some of them are like
Really?
£9 a month or something really
And
ridiculously
do you know
silly.
what?
And
I
you
bet
think,
all of them buy the domain name and keep it in their name to tie you in.
they do. That's exactly what they do. Dorjin says, I mostly ask questions when meeting potential customers, like dating. Not everyone you date are a fit for you.
Yeah,
I wonder
true.
what kind of questions you ask, but yeah, I get what you're saying there. I get what you're saying.
I want to know what happens at the second meeting.
Oh, oh. Well, you're in there then, aren't you?
Yeah, and do you refer as your milestones as bases? We've got to fourth base.
Yeah. And you know, and if you're asking them to pay you,
What's this date all about? Yeah,
I know, I
I
know,
love
I
it.
know.
Sorry.
Andrew says, do you offer tiered SEO packages? Yeah. So the basic one is literally rank map installation, keywords, and all of that. The second tier is now, I literally do that. So I have like rank map, keywords on the homepage. If you now want me to do every other page, cost goes up. If you want me to do your Google Analytics connection, that's also
You
like an
charge for that?
add-on. Yeah, I do. I literally do. I literally say to them,
You
here's
heard
your
it
rank
here
map.
first.
Here's your rank map and your keywords. If you want Google Search Console and you're indexing, there's extra. If you want Google Analytics, there's extra. And I then say to them, I recommend you go for all three, because if you don't, then there's no point doing it. And they always go for all three.
Okay. How much are you charging people?
Oh wow! Do you really want me to tell you? Do you really want me to tell you?
No, actually, no, not
No,
here.
no.
Tell
Do
me
you know
where
what? I'll tell you. If they want just a rank math installation and the settings,
yeah.
480,
Sorry, how for
480.
right, anybody else who needs this done, I'll do it for 240. Okay. And if
There's
you
your
want
man. There's your
connected
man.
to analytics and search console, I'll throw that in.
No, so 480. If you want me to then do your homepage, obviously you might need to refine content on the homepage to get the keywords
Yeah.
to work. Then the cost goes up to 720. So that's the rank math and that. If you want, now the Google Search Console is an extra 60 and the
Okay.
Google Analytics is an extra 60. But then what I say to them is if you just go to rank math installation and you don't get me to do the keywords, that's fine. That's fine. But then you might be losing out in that intelligence that goes behind refining it to make it work. If you do that, but you don't do Google Search Console, well, now you're not going to get indexed properly.
Well,
Google Analytics to feed
do
back
you
through.
double the numbers if you submit them to Bing console?
No, that's kind of tied in there because to
Right.
be honest, the only ones I really do are the Google one or the Bing. There are a few others you can do, but I get a bit like
So actually, what we're seeing here is the secret benefit of having your own YouTube channel and being well known in the community, because you can set your price based on your fame.
there is some truth. There is some truth in that, but
Yeah.
these prices kind of actually aren't that dissimilar from what I was doing way before the YouTube as well. I started to realize that whenever we did a project, we felt like we had to give everything. Oh yeah, we'll do your Google, we'll do your keywords, we'll do all this. And the more you work on it, the more you suddenly realize there's a heap of work. So that price I gave you was just the
I
homepage.
do wonder, therefore, how many of those cheap designers and developers aren't doing any of this stuff,
They
aren't
don't.
trying to sell any of this stuff either. So they're
No,
building a site
they're
for,
not. They're not.
on the cheap for £600,
Well,
eight
they're
hundred
not.
dollars, because they're just literally throwing a few pictures and words on a page,
They are.
telling the client to host it themselves, not giving them any backup. The problem is, and I maintain this, it's the headline figure. If you've got to start explaining your pricing, you're
Yeah,
already on the back foot.
exactly.
And
And it's not.
that brings me back to, you've got the channel, you're respected. People will kind of understand why they're paying you more than the £600 guy, because, well, it's Imran.
That there is no lie in that.
And
That
now you
there's
know why I keep joining in.
no, 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 no. But there is truth in that, and also
Mm,
it's a bit like I'm not going to go into numbers, right? I'm not going to go into
no,
numbers, but if someone, a company, approached me to do a video, and I said, okay, I'll do a video, but you've got to pay a little bit, like 2 hours, 3 hours worth of work for me to do that. You've got to pay to commission me to do that. If that same company went to Paul, I know his prices are going to be way more than what I'll charge. And
well, yeah, of course.
there's nothing wrong with that because you know you're going to get hits. Ferdy, Reno. So there is something that comes into it. And also like
How many followers has his YouTube channel got?
mine,
No, Paul's.
I think he must be close to 150 now, or he's over.
Mm.
No, he must be at 150-ish.
I've not looked at yours in ages. I remember you did the giveaway when you hit how
10.
many? 10.
So we hit 10 in September 2022. We
Wow.
are now honing in on 35,000.
Nice.
This year has been not exponential, but we went from gradual to going like that. That being said, though, the number of subs you have does not guarantee lots of views.
No.
So lots of my videos, they might get 500 views a day. That's kind of how it was nearly 2 years ago. So it's often about the topic and if people take interest in you. But I'm going back to the point about 160. There we go. So Paul's channel, 30's channels, they were there at the right time. Lockdown. So because they were already there, Paul saw a massive boom during lockdown because he did some Croco Block videos. That was the catalyst. But going back to like what companies charge, so many of them say, yeah, we'll do your page speed as well. And all they do is install NitroPack and put it on ludicrous mode. And when you go to that website, they've not installed web fonts. They've not, there's no WebP. There's no, there's tons of CSS, JS, whatever going on.
Yeah,
A lot of
but
them
I
do
mean,
that.
I get that, and I understand that. And then, but from your client's point of view, if you're in a Tesla doing 150 miles an hour, or if you're in a Ferrari doing 150 miles an hour, you're doing the same speed, different type of engine.
You are right. No, you are right there. And also, the clients can't really complain if they've only paid $50 for a website,
I
right?
know.
But yeah, but when it comes to back to pricing, that's how I like to itemize. So when I itemize projects, I literally am telling them, here's what I do for your SEO for the homepage. If you now want me to do the keywords on every other page, it will be a 120. And I know that might only be, you can look at it and go, well, the keywords for the about page. But this is where I then say to the client, I will advise you. So you've got 10 pages. Is there any point doing keywords on the contact and the about page? Not really.
Contact, you've got to be careful, because that one very easily ranks, because of Google local search being so important. Your contact page ranking higher than your homepage is a
Exactly.
massive thing these days.
No, exactly. And it's something that I didn't appreciate until a while ago, where I started noticing that like my cart page or my checkout page for a client was the number one page.
Oh
And
yeah,
oh no, and then you go, oh, don't index that, get rid of that. We need to stop.
Yeah.
But there are some people where they've gone and indexed every page, and that again is, do you really want the checkout page to be your number one? And when someone clicks it, it says,
it's that knowledge and experience is what you pay for, isn't it? And,
exactly.
or at least the attention to detail as well.
Yeah. Now, Grandpets has mentioned something, right? And I'm going to come on to this, okay? Living with Pixel's doing really well. He's been around a while. Kevin Powell, well, he's just a god when it comes to CSS. And I tell you what, a lot of his videos are very simple, but it's the way he delivers. You literally feel like you're in a room with him. The way he delivers is so warm and nice. Like you could be sat in a pub and you'd happily listen to him telling you a story about his life. It just feels,
he could read the phone book.
yeah. Well,
yeah,
I'd probably walk away, but yes, he could read the phone book. Yeah.
I've only watched a few of his CSS battle things. You know that website where you've got to try. Yeah, he's good.
It's just unlike some people where the voice might be a little bit irritating. Now, I'm going to come on to a point that you've made there about Geary. He's only got 12.4. Now, I'm not surprised by that, Grandpets, because, Andrew's question is still on screen, because you either like it or you don't like it. Also, the fact there's only 12,000 says to me a little bit about how big the Bricks community is as well. Same with Design with Cracker. He's done loads of videos as well. Really good stuff. I've learned
he's
stuff
great.
From him, but again, 6 and a bit thousand.
Yeah.
So, let's just say,
and you know what? One of our own, Dave's, his videos are really, really good.
Dave Foy?
No, Dave Dane.
Dave Dane. Yes, exactly.
His videos are great.
And
really good.
And I would say that the more videos you put out, the more exposure you're going to get. The less confrontational you are as well can help people to magnetize towards you as well. Make sure you're not political. Don't put messages out there saying, would you vote Labour or Tory, Brexit, no Brexit. Don't go into anything like that, okay? You need to magnetize and let people know that you're all encompassing. But also, if you're using a particular product and you only ever use that product, that's your market in a way. So I do Elementor. I have done Bricks, but the code snippet videos, there's tons of WordPress videos. I would probably say my channel is 80% Elementor.
Yeah.
But the Elementor audience is massive, right? We're talking millions and millions. But when it comes to the Bricks, that's very telling, because in the Bricks community, Kevin is always promoting his videos, always promoting ACSS. And I'm not having a dig here. I only promote my videos as an answer to someone asking a question in the global elemental community. So someone says, I want to know how to do X. And if I think my video can help them, I'll put my video in. So even though Kevin is very dominant in the bricks community, it does say something, and we have spoken about this, it does say something about how big is the bricks community.
Yeah.
Now, the breakdance community is growing, but there isn't, as far as I know, anyone who is doing a dedicated breakdance channel. Can someone let me know if I'm wrong? But I haven't come across it yet. I think someone was starting something. I think Louis hired someone recently. I think I heard about someone, but I don't think there's like a dedicated, full-blown breakdance kind of.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe there is, and that's all you actually get. You know.
Well, maybe, but I don't like. So there's a major opportunity there. So if anyone wants to do breakdance, go in.
Yeah, but it's tempting, but then you'd hate me.
Jeffrey will. I think Jeffrey's planning to. So Jeffrey from Lightpop.
Really?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's
okay.
I think he's been worried about how some of us are going to react, and loads of us, other influencers, have said there's nothing to stop you. We won't. So we're literally giving you an open forum, you know, you go in, you
play in that big sandbox and enjoy yourself.
Exactly, yeah.
Don't expect Louis to ever even know who you are. I mean, I saw him being interviewed by somebody and saying, "Oh, you know, Kevin Geary, the guy who did this," and Louis said, "Okay, never heard of him." And this was about Oxygen, and it was like, oh,
really? Was this recent?
I think when breakdance first came out, and Louis was being interviewed about people being a bit annoyed about the whole Oxygen breakdance thing, and Kevin's name coming up because he was big in the community, and he's just not aware of what's going on in the
right. I'm gonna make a comment on this, Jonathan. Right, Grandpets. So Kevin has the inner circle. Loads of people have their inner circles. I don't like to go down that road. Number one, I do have a course that you do have to pay for. That's the only thing I'm going to charge for. I like to keep my videos free. I like to keep the community free, because I feel like I don't want to say, right, you can only be part of the club if you pay for it. I feel like that's just not fair on the worldwide audience that I got. I really feel, and that could also affect why he's only got so many subs. On top of that, I don't know if I should say it or not. It's an elitist way to do things, in my opinion, right? I just feel like, you know, because I do feel like you're stopping people. Now, there's nothing wrong with joining an inner circle. It's okay to join.
Kyle have an inner circle?
He does. And again, though, I just feel like, I mean,
I've never called him elitist, and
no, exactly, yeah,
totally different vibe.
And that's why as soon as I said it, I kind of rolled back in my head, going, "Oh, that's not fair." Because I think Dave Foy has got like his inner circle. I think Jeffrey has as well, but it's just like so someone who used to be in Kevin's inner circle 2 weeks ago contacted me, and she said she got kicked out of his inner circle.
Mary Jane.
No, it weren't her. It weren't her. And then she said she'll never get kicked out. She's probably administrator for it. They then said to me, why don't you start one and we'll help promote it? And you could charge $9 a month. I did think about it. And then within 5.6 seconds, I went, no.
I know Paul's ummed and ahed about it as well, I think.
It's
the money's enticing, but the optics and the message it sends to people.
That's literally it. That's a lovely way to put it. The optics of it. It's like very. I mean, do I need? Okay.
What added value could you bring, or could you know, if you started in a circle, what added value would you give? Because you put everything out there at the moment.
Well, I'll tell you what it would mean. It would mean I've got to do more admin.
Yeah.
I'd have to moderate more.
Yeah.
I'd have to keep doing private sessions. Yeah. Because you got to satisfy your audience, special stuff just for them, which I know I did an elemental course and all of that, but you know, if you want it, you can get it. You pay once, whatever, and I keep adding to it, but that's separate. But it would mean more admin time for me.
It would really devalue your 1 hour consultation.
It would. And also, what was I going to say? Oh, it's gone out of my head now. oh God, I was going to say something really amazingly, majorly, thought-provokingly, condescendingly brilliant, but it's going to put more pressure on me. And it'll come back to me. It'll come back to me in a moment. It'll come back to me. Graham Jonathan's going through every single list at the moment.
Yeah. People I've
every,
never even heard of.
Yeah, Darryl Wilson, I actually did learn stuff off him when I first started. He was very early on looking into Elementor when Elementor first came out. But he was really, oh yeah, sorry, here we go. It's come back to me now. I am not reliant on YouTube for my income. I'm not.
No. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I'm not reliant on that. I am reliant on my web agency work and clients. I am reliant on that because I don't get any other income from anywhere else. So I've got to win business. I've got to work with clients. I've got to do stuff like that.
I think Kevin's coming at it from a slightly different angle. You've started this and the web agency to grow the web agency. I don't know. Whereas Kevin seems to already have quite a big agency. I think. Well, he's obviously got the staff to produce ACSS. I don't think it's a one-man band, is it? And frames. And then maybe decided, well, I've reached that face I pulled. I've kind of reached the top in this agency world. Now I want to become a personality and started the YouTube thing. And he can give it the time because he's got his minions doing the other. And I don't mean that probably came across really bad, but you know.
I think you mean minions in the same way some people use certain other words, but it's just you're just meaning it as like they got workers. And I feel like,
and I didn't mean it as an insult to Kevin either.
No,
you know,
let's make that clear. There is there's no insults going on here. I mean, I just because I don't need the inner circle extra income. That's why I don't want to do it. And a point someone made earlier, but you know, you do charge for consultations and stuff like that. Well, the reason I do that is because I got to a point during 2021 and the start of 2022, people were continuously contacting me, emails, direct messages. I get so many every day. Like right now, the emails just come flooding in. You won't believe how much crap I get. And I literally have to say to some of them, you want me to look at your website? You want me to do X, Y, Z? You want me to investigate a problem? Why is your header not working? I'll do that, but it's got to be a one-to-one consultation. I've got to draw them out because there was one time, and I remember this specifically, October 2021. I must have started working about 8 a.m. and it wasn't until 10 p.m. I'd spent the whole day back and forth with direct messages, emails, also. I didn't touch any of my work because I felt this pressure because I was out there doing videos and I was forums. I've got to give back. I've got to make people realize that I know what I'm talking about. I'm not just making it up. 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. What's that? 14 hours for nothing. None of my work got done, nothing like that. So it was roughly about some point middle of 2022, I think it was, sometime around then. I was like, right, we're gonna have to charge for it. So it's not to say you want my time, you got to pay for it. Because if someone asks me a question, and I do it on our Facebook forum and Elementor forum, if I can answer or give you a quick answer, I'll do it. If I know it's going to take me time, you got to charge for it. And it's no different, I think, clients. Like, I bet there'll be a client of yours, Mark. They'll say, Mark, I need to do X. And you'll be like, yeah, 2 minutes. I'll do it for you quick. Yeah, I'll do it for you. Boom, boom, boom. Done.
Yeah.
But then they ask for something else. And you're like, that's going to take half an hour. There's a charge for it. So I wouldn't call it elitist. I call it valuing your time. But that's the reason why, you know, if I was reliant on an inner circle's income, that's a different conversation, right? But I like it that there are people from all around the world, right? Different communities, different backgrounds, different income, different stages of their business. And that's what I like our Web Squadron Facebook group. We're full of newbies and rookies, but we're also full of experts. I mean, some of the names and people we've got in there.
Oh, yeah.
Jump in and out. It's Kevin's in there as well.
Yeah.
Kevin's even said a few times, I bet Imran's going to kick me out. Yes, I've fallen out with him. Yes, I don't agree with some of the stuff he says or his opinions, but I haven't kicked him out yet.
No, because at the end of the day, if Web Scrolling is what you want it to be, which is a place where people can get help, he's knowledgeable and he can help people.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
but I will kill that. But I do kick out people that come in and spam and kind of like that, or maliciously put what I would call rubbing people up the wrong way. I know that means something different to you, Mark, but rubbing people up the wrong way.
no, it means the same as it does to you.
Right, I've just realised the time. We've been live for 1 hour 34. Don't forget to smash the like button, everyone. I'm just going to go.
People are going to start invoicing you for lost work hours when you do long lives.
Do you know what? I do often wonder that. But I'm please do. I just won't pay. I'll just hit delete. By the way, the delete button on my keyboard is wearing out. It's already like the words are half erased now. It's just like delete. Right. I'll be back on Tuesday. Got to go to my dad's house tonight because it's my nephew's birthday party. So I'm going to lose out on about 4 hours of my life, so I have to pretend to smile. If my nephew's watching, happy birthday, but yeah, get over it. Right, I'll see you. Happy 13th birthday. Welcome to teenage years, rebel and all of that, blah, 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 blah. You'll meet someone, you get married, you lose your virginity, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Right, okay, take care, everyone.
Life summed up in one quick sentence.
It is.
Take care, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving if you're in America.
Bye.
Bye.